When we find ourselves in trouble, we often turn to our parents for support and guidance. But what happens when it's our parents who are causing the trouble, and they find themselves unable to escape the consequences of their actions? Here are 5 cases where evil parents realize they've been caught. Number 5. Mom driving under the influence with child in back seat. First on our list is a mother caught speeding at an ungodly hour. Officer Hada, a member of the New Mexico State Police, pulls her over for clocking in at a whopping 110 miles per hour. The driver, Aurora, seems unfazed and casually mentions that she's rushing to the other side of town.
Trying to get to the other side of town.
Okay, so I'm Officer Hada, New Mexico State Police. You're going 110 miles an hour. Not only are you speeding, but you have a little one in the back that's not seatbelted.
As the conversation unfolds, Aurora's demeanor shifts from casual to defensive. She insists that her child in the back seat was seatbelted, despite the officer's observation to the contrary.
Okay, well, when I walked up, she wasn't seatbelted, okay? So, I mean, even going 110 with the little one in the car, I mean...
This moment marks the beginning of a series of revelations and excuses that paint a picture of recklessness and entitlement. Officer Hada, maintaining his composure, delves deeper. He asks for Aurora's driver's license, only to find that she's left it at home. Instead, she offers her social security number.
Where's your license at?
I can give you my social. I left it at home, but I'll give you my social, my date of birth, anything else that you need.
Okay.
The officer's patience is evident, but so is his commitment to the procedure. He inquires about the car's registration, learning it's actually registered to another vehicle of hers.
Registration on this, the plate on this is from my other car, which is my Chrysler.
The layers of irregularity in Aurora's story start to pile up. Officer Hada asks her to step out of the car for further questioning. When asked where she's been and what she was up to, Aurora starts to get emotional.
I got in a dispute with my boyfriend, so I was just trying to leave, to get away.
The officer's suspicion escalates when he detects the smell of alcohol.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to lie to you, Miss Aurora. I smell alcohol emitting from the vehicle, okay? But just wait right here. We'll get to that here in a sec. Just wait right here.
Aurora openly confesses to consuming vodka earlier in the afternoon.
Alcohol this evening?
Earlier in the afternoon I did.
How long has it been?
Like at 4, probably.
Okay.
And further reveals that she had consumed 2 bottles of it.
Soon.
Vodka.
Vodka? How much?
Like one of the small bottles, like that big.
Okay.
Like probably maybe 2 of them.
The confession is casual, almost dismissive, as if downplaying the seriousness of drinking and driving, especially with a child in the car. As the field sobriety test is initiated, Aurora reveals that she had brain surgery earlier in the year.
Have you had any recent head injuries? Oh, okay. When was that?
Beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year?
This piece of information adds complexity to the situation, but the officer proceeds with the test, working to ensure Aurora's safety and compliance. The test includes following the officer's finger with her eyes.
All right, so follow it all the way out, okay?
Okay, it's kind of hard for me because you're going too far out.
I'm going too far out? Okay, so just do your best.
And walking heel to toe along an imaginary line. Aurora's performance is unsteady, and her movements are hesitant. As the test continues, Aurora's narrative unravels further.
Be honest with me, how much alcohol have you consumed?
2 bottles of the pineapple Amsterdam, the smaller bottle.
She details consuming 2 bottles of pineapple Amsterdam vodka around 4 or 4:30 p.m.
About what time?
Like 4:30.
She also mentions eating chips, candy, and a slice of pizza. When asked if she feels safe to drive, her response is a confident yes.
Ask you this, do you feel safe to be operating the motor vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so...
This overconfidence, juxtaposed with her earlier admissions and the officer's observations, creates a stark contrast. The conversation takes a turn as Aurora opens up about a fight with her partner, which is what pushed her to leave in such a hurry.
He was just being a jerk and he started grabbing me.
He started grabbing you? Okay. And then
I left.
She goes on to mention that she's on her way to a friend's place near a Del Taco. The officer listens, trying to make sense of the scattered pieces of Aurora's eventful day. The moment of reckoning arrives. Officer Hata informs Aurora that she's under arrest for DUI.
All right, so at this point you're going to be under arrest for DUI, okay?
Can I possibly see my daughter?
Yes,
please?
yes, of course. Do you have a cell phone in there?
Yes.
Okay.
The reality of the situation seems to hit Aurora.
I know that your daughter doesn't want to see this, but I'll go talk with her.
Do this. I'm not drunk. I swear.
Okay, have a seat.
to you.
Have a seat.
Her earlier casualness fades, replaced by a dawning realization of the gravity of her actions. Meanwhile, the officer remains focused on procedure and safety, particularly for Aurora's daughter, Angelique. The officer ensures Angelique's safety and tries to arrange for someone to pick her up.
Pick up your daughter? Yes, in a timely manner? Someone she's going to be safe with?
If I could call him and get a hold of him, yes.
Okay.
Inside the patrol car, Aurora tries to convince the officer that she's not intoxicated.
A breathalyzer, you could see I'm not.
Okay, but like I already explained to you, you're under arrest for DWI. So,
But at this point, she's already under arrest and there's nothing she can do about it anymore. The officer reads Aurora her rights regarding the DWI charge. He explains the requirement to submit to a breath test and the option for an additional independent test. The legal formalities, delivered in a steady, clear manner, underscore the seriousness of Aurora's situation. Officer Hata asks her if she agrees to take the test, and this is her response.
to take our test. I need a verbal yes or no.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So just hang tight.
Meanwhile, another officer coordinates transport for Angelique. The challenge of finding a safe place for her looms large in the conversation. Aurora struggles to contact anyone immediately, her social network seemingly as fragmented as her story. The officer discusses with his sergeant the potential involvement of Child Protective Services if no suitable guardian is found.
She has a 7-year-old in the car. She's not able to get a hold of anyone. Do you want Savage just to transport the little one to the...
Throughout the encounter, Officer Hata's professionalism shines. He navigates the complexities of the situation with a steady hand.
The other officer is going to transport your little one. And then, just because the last thing I want to do is put your child in CYFD's custody, but I mean, if that's the last...
Balancing the need for law enforcement with empathy for a young child caught in an unfortunate situation. This traffic stop is more than just an arrest. It's a snapshot of a life in disarray, a series of poor decisions culminating in a moment of reckoning. Aurora, initially dismissive and entitled, faces the reality of her situation in the back of a police car. Her freedom and the safety of her child hanging in the balance. The video concludes without a clear resolution, but we can only hope that Aurora manages to reunite with her child and avoids making similar mistakes in the future. Number 4. Man arrested after leaving 2 kids in hot car. A scene unfolds in a parking lot that captures the attention of a concerned Uber Eats driver named Steven. He spots a young girl, barely 3 or 4 years old, hanging out of a car window, screaming for her mother.
Car screaming. Like I was screaming for her mom, so I stopped and I was like,
What's
your mom's name?
What's your name?
Steven.
The car's back window is completely up, and a younger child, an infant, is also inside. The children are alone. The car is parked with no adult in sight. Steven, a parent himself, feels a surge of worry. He approaches the car, his mind racing with concern. He checks to see if there's an adult with them, but finds none. The little girl, still hanging out the window, is in distress. Steven asks for her mother's name, determined to find her.
Parent. So I walked up to the car to make sure there was nobody in the car with them. And I asked her, I said, what's your mom's name? I'll go get her. And then I saw the security guard and I asked,
He flags down a security guard, explaining the gravity of the situation.
this is a serious matter. And I was like, you gotta call the police. This isn't okay.
Okay.
The security guard, now equally concerned, joins Steven in the effort to locate the mother. They learn her name is Tamisha, and that she's inside a nearby building, donating plasma. She's been there for at least 2 hours, leaving her children alone in the car.
What's your mom's name? What is it?
Tamisha.
Tamisha. Yep. She was a new donor too. She's been in here for at least 2 hours.
The weather is warm, and the children, dressed in long sleeves and pants, are at risk in the hot vehicle.
Getting really warm out here now.
It's really hot.
And
look, the baby's dressed in pants and long sleeves.
Tamisha, the mother, is located and confronted by the police.
It's only been like an hour and a half. Like, it hasn't been that long. Ma'am,
an hour and a half to
She seems unaware of the seriousness of her actions, not fully grasping the danger she put her children in. The officers decide to take the children to the hospital for a checkup, given the potential health risks from the prolonged exposure to the warm conditions.
Take them to Metro Hospital. Okay, you're going to stay here with the police.
During the interaction, another concerning detail emerges. One of the children has a bandaged arm.
Look at her arm. Why is her arm in a bandage?
she burned her arm.
Okay.
Last week.
How?
She got to the.
The mother explains she treated it with over-the-counter remedies, but the police question her decision not to seek medical attention.
To the hospital to get it looked at?
It wasn't that bad, like where as though it gotten like today. Today I had just wrapped it.
The mother's lack of awareness about the severity of her child's situation becomes increasingly evident.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't leave it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot outside, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you mean to, okay.
The police explain the risks involved, including the potential for the car to heat up quickly and the danger of someone taking the children or the car.
People can take your children,
Yeah.
they can take your car,
Yeah.
and it's like near 85 degrees outside. Inside that car heats up very fast. And children.
Tamisha gets emotional when they inform her that Child and Family Services will be notified.
Notify Child Family Services, all right? And we'll go from there, okay? Okay. I'll do this. A guy who's...
The video captures the moment the police detain Tamisha. They handcuff her, explain her that she's being detained for the safety of her children.
Put your hands
I'm
behind
being
your back.
detained?
Yes. Put your hands together like you're praying. Like you're praying. There you go.
Don't see my baby.
Yes.
The mother, now visibly upset, requests to see her children.
Hold on.
The police inform her that they're being taken to the hospital. When Tamisha is inside the patrol car, the police confirm the precise time she left her children and the number of hours they were left unattended in a hot car.
To 11:30.
Oh.
7:43.
Yeah. Well, I know
Let's
that's
say
the
11,
exact time you're
11:15. I
going.
mean,
11:15.
Yeah.
right, 11. Right. 7:30 to 11.
Yes, that's right. She left them for a total of 4 hours. It's truly astonishing that this woman showed such a lack of concern for her children's well-being. Leaving children unattended in a vehicle, especially in warm weather, is not just negligent, it's dangerous. Even if you're not the mother of these children, isn't it just basic common sense not to leave them alone in a hot car? As we witnessed in the video, bystanders who noticed the children in distress inside the vehicle came together to ensure their safety. Meanwhile, their own mother was inside a building donating plasma, seemingly unaware, and might have left them there even longer had she not been notified. It's a truly disheartening and concerning situation. In the end, the video is more than just a documentation of an incident. It's a narrative about community, responsibility, and the consequences of neglect. The actions of Stephen, the security guard, and the police officers exemplify the kind of community awareness and responsibility that can prevent tragedies and protect the most vulnerable. As for Tamisha, well, let's hope she takes this as a wake-up call, a reminder to always put her kids' safety and well-being first. When you're a mother, these responsibilities should come as second nature, shouldn't they? Sadly, because of what happened, we're not sure if she'll be seeing her children again soon or if Child Services will step in. Number 3. Instacart driver leaves daughter inside hot car. In a Florida grocery store parking lot, a scene unfolds that captures the attention of onlookers and law enforcement alike. A delivery driver known as Jones is pulled from his routine and thrust into a situation that rapidly escalates into a police matter. The reason? He's left his infant daughter in a sweltering hot car. The Florida heat is oppressive, the kind that seeps into your bones and makes every movement a chore. In this heat, Keita Jones' daughter sits in a parked car, the window barely down, the air thick and still. A shopper notices the child visibly sweating, her breathing labored. The alarm is raised, and soon, the police arrive. As the officers approach Jones, you can sense their growing frustration.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Is your white verse outside?
Yeah, my daughter's in there. Yeah.
Your daughter's in there, dude.
I just brought in the...
No, hang on, stay with me, dude.
They make it clear to him that his daughter has been inside the hot car for almost an hour, despite his insistence that he'd only been gone a short while.
That car's been here for like almost an hour, dude.
They emphasize the scorching Florida weather. Jones attempts to explain he left the windows down, but the officer counters, revealing they had to break the windows to enter the car.
I'll make sure I lay down the windows and everything.
No, we had to bust the windows to make entry. She's in the back of the emergency vehicle right now. You see this paramedic car right here? This car right here?
The implication is clear. How could anyone think it's safe to leave a child in a car in such heat? First, that's seriously irresponsible parenting. And second, is an Instacart delivery really more important than your daughter's safety? I mean, she's just a toddler of about 2, left alone in a car baking in the Florida heat with all the windows closed. The child fortunately receives immediate medical attention. Paramedics treat her at the scene, ensuring she's out of immediate danger. She's overheating, her small body struggling to cope with the intense heat of the car.
I'm treated by EMS right now, bud. Because that's what happens when the child gets left in a hot car. She was burning up, labored breathing.
Man, that poor girl. Imagine how insanely stressful that must have been for her. Thank goodness a good Samaritan spotted her in that hot car. Without quick help, things could have turned really bad for her. Meanwhile, Jones appears to be in a state of denial, struggling to come to terms with the gravity of his actions and failing to fully grasp the danger he's placed his child in.
I just ran in there.
No, dude. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that.
Bro, let me call my girl.
It's quite astounding, isn't it? Rather than expressing remorse for the predicament he's put his daughter in, he's in denial and even directs his anger towards the officers, refusing to accept their account of the situation. The video captures the moment the police handcuff Jones.
Have an ID in your pocket?
ECRO, he came running up.
Okay.
You already registered under that vehicle?
He's scolded for his negligence. The officer's voice raised in a mix of admonishment and disbelief.
The window's down. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? The window's down?
Look. Look on the right side. My window's down.
The officer asks why he didn't take his child with him, and this is his feeble excuse.
Why didn't you take your child with you?
It was raining. I just brought it back over here.
Yeah.
Don't you see it's raining?
Hold still.
The officer sternly rebukes him, stating that it's no excuse at all.
You serious, bro?
Yeah, Matty, I'm not making all this up. Everything this show is here.
Bro, I'm not like...
I mean, why would you leave the kid in the car? Raining or not, man?
Because
You can't do it.
Jones makes one last effort to explain himself to the officers.
My second Instacart. She got wet the first time.
Hop on the seat, man. Hop in. Watch you getting in.
But his words now seem to fall on deaf ears. Throughout the incident, Jones's behavior is erratic. He oscillates between defensiveness and confusion, his actions not aligning with the seriousness of the situation. In the end, Jones is put into custody while his daughter is safe with her mother. Unfortunately for Jones, he now faces charges of child neglect. What can we take away from this regrettable incident? Firstly, never leave children alone in hot cars, whether you're their parent or not. It's a definite no-go. If you're overwhelmed and can't bring them along for some reason, find someone who can temporarily look after them. Secondly, when you've clearly made a mistake and all the facts are laid out before you, it's best not to argue or deny it. Just apologize, own up to your actions, and face the consequences head on. Number 2. Mom turns speeding ticket to full-blown felony. Caught in the act, this mother's face is a canvas of shock and disbelief. She's behind the wheel with her daughter beside her, and a police officer outside, his voice firm and authoritative. The speedometer has betrayed her, 75 in a 60 zone. But it's not just the speeding, it's her reaction and her choices in the moments that follow that unravels the story of a parent caught in a web of her own making. The officer, his patient evident, requests her driver's license and insurance. Simple, Routine, yet the mother's response is anything but.
You're speeding. You are. The speed limit's only 60. We're going 75.
She claims she can't hear him, but her window is barely open. It's clear she's stalling, but why? The officer, sensing that something is amiss, persists. His requests are met with evasion and a dance of words and half-truths.
I can't hear you, ma'am. Can you roll the window down? Can you open your door so I can hear you?
She's reluctant and uncooperative, her words a mix of confusion and defiance. She even asks to speak to the officer's supervisor.
I do have my camera on. Can I have your driver's license and insurance?
You don't have it on?
I do have it on. Can I have your driver's license? I'll call my supervisor. Can I have your driver's license and insurance?
The officer politely asks her once again to step out of the vehicle, but she doesn't move. She's anchored to her seat as if it's her safe haven, her fortress against a reality she's not ready to face. The plot thickens as the officer, his voice a steady stream of calm in the chaos, repeats his request. It's a simple ask, yet it hangs in the air, heavy and unmet. She even uses her daughter as an excuse for not showing the documents the officer is requesting.
I need your driver's license and insurance.
I'm going to run out of gas. My daughter's driving because she's hungry.
I get that, but the quicker I get your license and insurance, the quicker we can get out of here.
The mother's reluctance is a red flag, waving in the wind of this roadside drama. What is she hiding? Why won't she comply? Once the officer finally takes hold of her driver's license, he goes back to his patrol car and looks into her information. The woman is seen stepping out of her car and saying something about her daughter to the officer.
Can I call an ambulance for you? Would you like me to call an ambulance for you? Okay. My supervisor, would you like my supervisor? He's still on the way.
The officer asks if she would like him to call an ambulance for her, but she walks away and gets back inside her car.
Would you like me to call an ambulance for you?
Then, in a twist that no one sees coming, the mother drives off.
07 dispatch, Mike.
It's a moment of recklessness and a decision that escalates the situation from a routine traffic stop to a pursuit. This chase is not high speed, not reckless. It's almost methodical, the mother driving with a purpose and a destination in mind. She stops at red lights and turns correctly, her compliance with the law a stark contrast to her decision to flee.
We're just at 55 right now. I'm just going to get on the turnpike right now.
It's quite puzzling to see her sticking to the speed limit as she tries to escape the officer. Could she believe that this would somehow reduce the charges against her? Well, if that's what she's thinking, I bet she's not aware that running from the officer only adds another charge to her record. The scene shifts to a gas station, the chase reaching its climax.
While you're following me around, put your hands on me.
The officer's repeated commands to exit the vehicle are met with steadfast refusal. The mother is adamant, her words a mix of fear and defiance. She offers an explanation for her speeding, claiming it's because her daughter is facing an emergency.
I'm not. Get away from me. I told you my daughter's having an emergency.
I understand that, and I told you I'd request EMSA.
No,
You
we're
cannot
not
run
on
from the
EMSA.
traffic.
In a stern tone, the officer insists that she exit the car, but the woman remains resolute, requesting to speak with his supervisor.
Get out of the car.
I need what?
Get out of the car, ma'am.
I need you to send one of your supervisor officers to the E-Express at Memorial and Bryant.
Her resistance continues as she asserts that she won't go anywhere with him.
Let go of my hand.
No, ma'am.
I'm not getting out with you. I'm not going anywhere with you. I'm not going anywhere with you.
The mom, still standing her ground, explains she's just getting food for her daughter. The officer tells her he only needs to issue a quick citation and she'll be on her way. However, she just drove off instead.
I'm not doing
I was
that.
going to write a quick citation. You were going to be good to go.
Dude, my daughter.
And I understand that, and I offered to call EMSA for you.
I don't want
to have
IMSA.
her
We don't
checked out.
contract with IMSA.
Despite understanding all of this, she remains determined to stay in her car, no matter what.
In here because I'm not getting out of my car and you're not getting me out. So you can go write your citation, and I'm going to get my daughter some
food. We're past
food.
that now, so you decided to run.
Her accusations against the officer add another layer to this complex narrative. She claims he's involved in illegal activities. Her words a desperate attempt to deflect and defend.
You're a trafficker, and you've got me here breaking my arm. Because you probably traffic all the dope in here, don't you?
The standoff continues, the mother and officer locked in a stalemate. As the video concludes, the story is left hanging, and the mother's fate remains uncertain. Did she eventually exit the vehicle and allow the officers to proceed with their investigation, or did she persist in her resistance, potentially leading to even more charges that she initially faced? Well, folks, if you ever wondered how to transform a speeding ticket into felony evading arrest, child endangerment, and a big public scene, this is exactly how it's done. Trying to outrun the cops is already a pretty bad call, but it's even worse when there's a kid in your car. It's puzzling how the mom claims to care for her daughter, but then subjects her to such a dangerous situation by fleeing from the cops and speeding. That poor 5-year-old had to witness the whole ordeal from the passenger seat. It's tough to imagine just how traumatic and distressing that must have been for the little girl. We can only hope that she's now in a safer and more stable environment. Number 1. Mom leaves kids alone at home while she's out partying. In a peaceful neighborhood during the quiet of the night, the arrival of police officers disrupts the calm in response to a troubling call. A mother, Perla, has been caught in a situation that puts her parenting under scrutiny. The scene unfolds with officers confronting her about her unattended children.
Why are your kids all here by themselves?
Oh, because I work night shifts.
Okay.
I work 2 jobs.
Okay. Can you step out of the car so we can talk to you?
Perla, a young woman in her late 20s, explains she works 2 jobs to make ends meet. She tells the officers that she works night shifts, including at a bar, which is why her children are often left alone. The officers, concerned about the children's welfare, ask Perla to step out of her car for a more detailed conversation. She is immediately arrested and put in handcuffs as the officers continue to interrogate her.
You're saying you're coming from work right now?
Interlace your fingers.
You're not coming from the clubs or bars or anything?
No, I work there.
The officers ask why she doesn't get a babysitter for her kids while she's at work, and this is her response.
Work at a bar? Mm-hmm. You a bartender?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, why don't you have a babysitter or anything for your kids?
Well, it's expensive.
As the dialogue progresses, it becomes evident that Perla's 9-month-old baby was found sleeping face down in bed.
She was in there sleeping, and she was face down, and that's not good. There's loose, sheets and pillows and stuff.
The officers point out the danger of this position, highlighting the risk of suffocation from loose sheets and pillows. The officers, detecting the smell of alcohol, question her about her drinking habits.
How much you had to drink tonight? Do not tell me anything, do not tell me nothing because I can smell it.
No, I had some.
Do you normally drink at work?
Perla admits to consuming alcohol at her bartending job, explaining that it's part of the work culture. They also ask her about her recent visit to the doctor with her baby.
When was the last time you took your baby to the doctor?
Last 2 months. She has an appointment on the 23rd of December.
To which Perla mentions an upcoming appointment and a past ER visit for a virus.
Because she has doctor's appointments and we took her to the ER and this and that. So I guess that's a normal virus.
The officer also expresses serious concerns about the baby's severe diaper rash.
I am more concerned about that baby's diaper rash.
Yeah.
That is the worst diaper rash I've ever seen on a baby.
Which Perla attributes to a change in diaper brands during a recent trip.
Well, Thanksgiving, they actually went to Texas with Destiny, which is my best friend, the one that she says is my sister. And she bought her these diapers that I normally don't buy her.
However, the officers are skeptical, noting that the severity of the rash suggests a deeper issue of neglect.
That's not from diapers. I have a 1-year-old at home. That's not from diapers.
Well, it didn't start until she started buying those diapers. And we can even call her and ask her.
The situation takes a significant turn as the officers verify that Perla's claim of working at the bar is untrue.
You're driving drunk and you were not working at a bar. You don't work there.
I'm sorry?
Okay? Yeah, I've already had an officer confirm that you don't work there. Okay? I've already had an officer up there and they confirmed you don't work there.
The suspicion arises that she may have driven to the location while under the influence of alcohol, leading to her arrest for DUI.
You're driving drunk, for one, You're driving drunk. You drove up here. So you're arrested for DUI at this point. You're going to jail. I'm letting you know right now you are going to jail.
The officers expressed their frustration and disappointment at her actions, particularly considering her role as a mother.
You're driving drunk. You're going out partying, leaving your kids at home. This happens often because guess what? There's already been a whole DHS case about it and your kids have been taken away and they have a foster family in Luther.
Adding to the concern, the officer also mentions the severe rash on her baby's skin, describing it as so severe that it resembles the texture of leather.
Your baby has leather for a butt. For her skin. Her skin is leather.
And everything I have confirmed. And I understand.
You're under arrest for DUI.
With the latest revelations about Perla, it's clear that her claims of working in a bar were false. We've also learned about her troubling history of neglect with her child, leading to the child being placed in foster care. Additionally, the condition of her baby's skin raises concerns about whether she's been seeking proper medical care for her child. The video captures Perla making phone calls to arrange care for her children. She contacts her boyfriend and her friend Destiny to come and pick up the kids.
Well, you need to come and get them right now.
Okay.
You need to come and get them right now.
The officers emphasize the need to ensure the children's safety and well-being for the night. Perla pleads earnestly with the officers, asking them for a chance to talk to her kids, recalling a previous incident where she was unable to see them at all.
Can I just calm them down to tell them that she's on her way?
They're going to be fine. I will tell them.
We already been through this once.
I know.
And I didn't have access to that. Can you please provide that?
Well, it's worth considering, Perla, that if you hadn't left them alone in the first place to enjoy a night out drinking, you wouldn't have found yourself in this situation once again, would you? The video comes to an end with Perla being taken into custody and the officers making arrangements for the care of her children. Unfortunately, her kids are taken away from her and placed in the custody of another family member. Perla now faces a series of serious charges, including child neglect, driving under the influence, and driving with a suspended license. It's quite unfortunate to hear about incidents like this. Those kids are in a tough spot, but let's hope the family members step in to provide them with the care and better life they need. And that's a wrap on this startling and unfortunate list of parents who, quite frankly, seem to behave more like their children than the other way around. Out of all the cases we've covered, the one that truly left me astounded is the mother who left her young ones at home while she went out partying. It's truly disheartening. How can someone enjoy their night knowing their kids are in harm's way? How about you? What's your take on it? Do you share similar sentiments? Or is there another parent in this list whose actions you find even more troubling? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, check out our other stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.